Hey people, good evening. Here is good evening. Here is another nightly wrap-up session, market recap session. So first thing first, before I start, of course, I will share my screen. Pardon me. From cold England, by the way. Let's see where we are. And I hope everyone is well, and I hope it's not cold where you are. And again, it keeps riding on. The market keeps riding on. The soldier keeps riding on. Where are we? Let's have a look. And today it's another 0.71%, almost 1%. This is a great move for the market. I mean, some people like it high, some people do not like it. Some people prefer a choppy market, but I think I would like to think everyone likes an uptrend market because it's good for everybody. But again, it depends on what strategy you trade. Some people like to short, so they prefer a volatile market because when it's just directly uptrend, it's a bit boring for some people. But first thing first, I woke up to this news and let me post a screenshot here. Hopefully you can see clearly. Let me just make the background white. It makes it a lot clearer for everyone. Fantastic. And then, so what did I wake up to this morning? Let's see. Okay, this is from X, by the way, not that one. Okay, let's see. There you go. So what it says is new 5X single stock ETFs filed by volatility shares. I believe this has been approved. So the market only needs to move 20% for you to make, 100% with any of these positions. At the same time, the market only needs to move down 20% for you to collapse your position. So I was just trying to find something. So yes, so you've got to be careful. If you do not know what you are doing, of course, you will get wiped out. It's just that simple. I think it's gamble for some people. If you remember, last Friday is still very fresh. We had a small 5% downturn in Bitcoin and many people got liquidated. So one thing you've got to do is pay attention to the crowd. You've got to be street smart. And I tend to give something about, I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, I tend to give something about, what's it called? About volatility, so be careful and leverage, like we always say, it's a two-edged sword. If you don't know how to use it, you will get taken out, really, even though it might be a great advantage to the people, but if it's not to you, you will get taken out. So that's a word of advice right there. I think the second thing right there is today was a great market, actually. The market started off very well, and then, or should I say, it was a choppy market. And then this news came in. Just let me post it here. We had a live news. Okay. And here we are. You can see the Treasury Secretary Bessent. He said a stock market decline will not deter the US from taking strong actions against China. The United States is ready to take on China against this whole trade war we've got. So he's also insisted on Wednesday that the US will not change its trade negotiation stance on China due to stock market volatility. President Trump likes a high stock market, but he believes that the high stock market is a result of good policies. Besant said in an exclusive interview at CNBC's Invest in America forum. And as a result of that, after that, what happened? I think the internals, they just started collapsing on each other. So let's first look at the favorites. We've got LSE, where the government's they've got a position. Look at that. That was a 6% down if we use yellow. 6% down. So on. I think I'm just looking at like for like. It's always good to be based on relationships. Look at this one, Rare Element Resources, which is not a very common name, but it's one I know as well. And you could see that huge move downward, huge week. Again, 8.6% down. Also, USAR. I'm just picking a random few ones, and the likewise, that was down 10%. So this statement caused a huge shock and uproar, and of course, you know, investors got they got paper handed and they dumped. Again, the quantum, I think quantum started off rough, but I was looking at this one. It's this Rigetti computing. It went up very high. It went, well, it didn't go up higher, but it retraced its steps and went on. Also, QBTS midday, I could see this one here collapsing, but then again towards the end, look at that. What a sweet one to take, or sweet take. And I believe IoT or other likewise, or QUBT, if a few ones like that. Let's just look at QUBT. I'm going to keep it moving. QUBT slightly, but still very much high. But again, so why am I looking at some of this quantum? I look at this day. So the same way you got to understand the market, if you do not understand sine wave, let me just quickly give you what it looks like. So the market is like a sine wave, okay? Sine wave. The same way it goes up, likewise it goes down. So this is the movement of joy right now. We'll take it until it collapses and then get back, or we'll revisit this. But more often the market goes up than down. Okay, I spent more time on an uptrend. So one thing is as to make your shopping list when the market is going down for what you will be buying. Likewise, you should be making your shopping list for when the market is going back up. So some of the things I am looking at is, a bit of a shopping list, if you can say, really, without giving too much away. Also, I didn't say what I'm going to do, not financial advice. Also, if you look at CRML, this right here, it's an amazing play. And this has actually literally, it's 10x in 2 weeks. This is 10x in 2 weeks. It's a company that's got no earnings, no balance sheet, and I did say it would be a crash landing, but unfortunately, he played without me today, and you could see what happened right there. He gave away 24%, but look, there's still a lot there. I think this is part of the critical metal play, but still paying attention to that, and that's one thing I will say. Also, I have been, oh, speaking of another one, I actually did compare earlier this morning. I did say that RGTI and Oklo could be compared to GME, or the modern day GME and AMC. They're both still modern. And Oklo again, look, no product, no earnings, or poor earnings. It's just amazing for revenue, but who cares? People are buying the deep. They haven't lost their boxes. Let them keep spending their money. We've got a lot to play for. Again, I'm looking at home builders, which hasn't been doing very well so far. I think this is going to be a really good place. Again, no, this is not financial advice. It's a good place. I think we and our group, we are trying to position ourselves for the next move. So yeah, we're looking at the home builders. Another one is, yes, so we talked about the new leverage. Um, I haven't been paying too much attention to the Mag 7 because we've got earnings right now. So if you don't know what you want to do, start paying attention to what is really making money. What is turning the corner. So this is Amazon. Amazon kind of look like in a no man's land at the moment. Meta, what I did say about Meta, kind of have a feeling they might just do a stock split at this point because Meta has been an amazing one. I haven't got a dog in this fight, but Meta has been an amazing play. I think they might just do a split at the next earnings. I mean, what have they got? A few earnings ago, they announced the dividend. It's quite little, but it's something. And now I think it's time for a split. Yeah, let's attract more people. I mean, it's still 1.8 trillion, which is amazing play. I think Zuckerberg has done so well in growing the company. One thing is that keeps coming up is AI. Is AI taking your jobs? What do you think about AI? I think one of the things I heard about AI was coding. AI, some people said, or a statement someone made was, it's not exactly going to take your jobs, but you got to think, someone talk about coding, if you feel like you're not sure with the correction, you're doing you're doing a proofreading of your coding. You just do the check, a dry run. You could copy the code into the AI, and it's quite polite. It will tell you, look, this is where the mistake is, and it could be a syntax error. I remember I used to do some coding in my university days, syntax error or whatever it was, and it will correct it for you. So the overall collection here is that look, AI is not going to take your job. It's going to be a tool to help coders to do the job quicker, which means I think once everyone is settled and we believe, or with earnings, we might decide, do you know what? We have overpriced AI and we don't think it's worth what we've been piling up for. So the market's either going to go higher once that's digested, rethink about it for a while, accumulate sideways, or downwards for a reprice, mean reverts. That's something we are looking at. So there's been a lot of conversation about AI being a bubble. It's not enough. Look, I do not know. The market's always pricing forwards. And again, we've got lots and lots of data centers being built. Do we get an infrastructure overload? Nobody knows. I try not to pay too much attention. My job is on the price, focus on the price. Again, this was a great play last week, which was the queues. When you look at the queues, it was amazing play. But again, right back down. It's got nowhere to go. Kind of just feels like a gamble. But I think it's a positioning trade. Why not? Because this queue's not giving anything away. So you might as well just position yourself for the time being, long term. I know many people do not believe in it, but I know many people. Everyone has got, just like one of our students, our colleague, we used to say that investment is a personal game. It's a lonely journey. It's a personal game. Play your way, how it suits you. Also, I think there's another one here. I made a comment in I made a comment in the group, and that was an amazing play. Actually, I love this the way he played out. What it was he was. I put a theory out there a few days ago, and I said, look, Hims and Tesla, watch out for a stronger uptrend. What do I mean by this? This was earlier this month. So what do I mean by that? I think I saw the news, the FOD from cost on Hims, and of course with Tesla. I know there's been a lot of noise. I'm not a big, I'm not in. I wasn't playing Tesla, whichever way I'm going to say, but we know Musk is diverted from Tesla in terms of the car. Now the focus is on the energy, the infrastructure play, the robotics, the self-driving, and the AI. It's more like saying, look, we're no longer just a car company. We are other things. Yes, we know the car story still drives Tesla, but I think the company is actually making a pivot at the moment. And that's that one. The second one is hymns. And based on that statement, I was pleased for the guys who played this in the group, and this was just an amazing run. It made a huge 16% in one day. Look, well done, guys. Also, we had a light, gentle, healthy debate about where do people hedge right now. I'm just trying to post the results. Where do you hedge? Do you hedge in gold? Do you hedge in cash? Do you hedge in Bitcoin? I think this is a difficult one for the market right now, or for the people right now, because or do you put your money in VIX? This is the results. So many people still prefer, let's just so which do you prefer, real estate or REITs? Oh, that's one. I think, oh yeah, many people still prefer REITs to real estate, but that wasn't the second. Oh yeah, I was trying to talk about this second one. So let's just see. Okay. And okay, we're talking about where people would hedge. So some people said gold, some said silver, but I think we had a greater percentage. Well, actually, It's an equal proportion of people who believe cash right now, while some people believe it should be gold. Um, but some people also said Bitcoin. Now it's quite funny actually because I mean one thing I said yesterday, if you look at yesterday's video or watch yesterday's video, was if people ask me what's going on in the market, I just told them, look, gold is telling you everything you need to know. The oil is behaving like we are in a stagflationary environment. It's crashing like no other person's business. The soft commodities, they're not giving much away. They're crashing as well. We only have the precious metals. So it looks like everyone is running for flight, for safety. But once all this is very high, where do we run to? And it's quite great. But later after this poll has been done, someone said, look, what happens to the treasuries? I'm going to put my money there. That's a lot safer for me because, you know, that's where I'll park my money when the market crashes because treasury bills just seems almost guaranteed, really, and it's safer. So that's that one. Something else I wanted to say. Yes, so I also put a comment here about. Yeah. So in the down, that's where people believe they should be. Again, so government shutdown continues. Government shuts down continues. I think the highest on record was it 35, which was in the first Trump 1.0. Now it's Trump 2. We're not fired, but now the probability. I think they said they were being fired, but recently news came out saying that the judge blocks federal firings during shutdown. So hopefully people do not lose the jobs, their livelihood, because bills got to be paid. And again, this has a lot more risk. We know the way the economy is right now is a little bit shaky. If if this gets prolonged and people are losing the job, I think somebody will be forced to come to the table. Okay, let's talk. So that's something there. And there's a final quote I'm just going to leave you with, which I put in the group again today, which was right. So you've got to be paid, you've got to be careful, pay attention when listening to the crowd. So I'm just gonna put it here. It's something I saw and I just wrote my own version. I love writing. So the news or the quote says, but before I do that, I said I had a play yesterday. I said once I said listen to the crowd, but never follow blindly. Wisdom is understanding why they cheer. Market, yeah. So listen to the crowd, but never follow blindly. The wisdom is in understanding why they cheer. So again, Wall Street won't tell you this, but I will. When they get loud, retail gets smoked. Every time the banks or CNBC start hyping or cannot miss a trade, that's not the green light. It's the exit sign. The pumping housing in 2008, they pumped tech in 2021. Now they are pumping gold. Gold is going to 10,000. Yeah, right. That's not alpha, that's the bait. When the suits start screaming from the rooftops, they are not helping you. They are unloading on you. Once the crowd piles in, they dump, drain the beads, and you're left holding the glitter. Money moves in silence. It builds when nobody's watching and sells when someone is cheering or when everyone is cheering. If Wall Street's shouting buy, you are already late. The noise is just the sound of them cashing out. So, what does that mean? Totally. You've got to be wary, be careful, know when to sell, know when to buy. Do not, the minute you start hearing everyone talking about it, that's the time to get out. So, I'll see you on the field again and trade wise, invest wise. See you next time. Bye bye.